A bit of race tape you can't fix. And Missouri's was one of those guys on slicks. Turn 2, found himself slipping off the racetrack. Going to be a bit more of that field this weekend.
There were plenty that tried the slick tyre and it didn't work for them. Paul Brusher got himself caught out in the grass. A nice start to his campaign. And then late in the session, Gary Hill's just a little bit wide at turn 1 in the grass, and then we'll see lots of this. Once you leave the race circuit, it's very hard to stop the car. So wet in the outfield. And slight contact with the tyre barrier. No harm, no.
And drivers who are out there to just enjoy the fact that they get to drive a V8 supercar around a circuit like this. And for the Page Brothers RV Commodore, a little spin through turn 5. Got away with that one. A-OK. Jason Gravasol going for a spin. Former Touring Car Masters driver, very quick in that category as well. Tells Round of Cream that he should be back for tomorrow's Armourer qualifying and racing. Zane Morse having a slip off the road down at the last corner. He did get that car back out on track. Unfortunately, it was looking a little bit gross. As was this one. Zach Best had a bit of a slip through the last corner. Shane Van Gisbergen got away with one of those earlier today. Zach not quite as lucky. Got that car beat. It's Jared Danaher in the Turbo Brisbane car.
You do not want to get out in that outfield. That's out at turn 2. He's got it in reverse, and that seems to be the hot ticket, and he's going to do a nice job and get himself out there. So, oh no.
Nothing is certain.
100%. Here's a replay of Aaron Seaton down into turn 2. Just too deep, couldn't get it stopped. And then once you're on the grass, we've seen plenty of you are a passenger, and the cars do not stop. And then Aaron does the right thing, tries to keep any sort of momentum up that he had. But he's in the long cut out there at the exit of turn 2.
Fish telling his way up the hill. Blake Fidel wide at 7. Oh, yeah.
Boulder well wide there. And Fidel's mowing, doing a nice job between Corporate Hill and the turn 8 hairpin.
And we are hearing it'll be red flag.
Oh, just Smurden just out of position there on the entry when Zach Best was up the inside. It just shows you only have to be a car width wide.
There will be a little bit of red flag time here, so there's a chance, but...
Oh, with only 1:15 remaining in the session, Chad, even if they press green, you wouldn't get around in time to start an actual lap, so
no chance,
well,
in other words.
No, unfortunately, so we do have 5 minutes of red flag time, but starting the session will not work, so... Motorsport Australia Race Control declared that this session will not restart.
Very impressive, given that for a lot of these drivers, their first drive in a supercar, first time in real race combat. Now Missouri's here on the outside of Ellie Morrow. It's going to be really tight at turn 3, and a little bit of a rub.
That's what sent Ellie off into the grass, and it does go drastically downhill there, so yeah, definitely contact from Missouri's. And you can just see once she goes off onto the grass and it heads downhill, it's very hard to get that momentum and get the car going again.
Unpick what's happened down here, Garth.
So they usually brake like that when the car's going backwards, Chad. And there it is. So that's not the usual entry angle of approach for turn 1 at Sydney Motorsport Park. So broken front splitter for James Marsden, and yet another that's been claimed by this very boggy outfield. The front splitter torn off the car like that, the front bumper broken so heavily, it was always going to be a big ask to get that car out.
Fraser and Missouri's on the front row. Oh no, Everingham stole it, as has Kai Allen. Is he going to make it away? It's going to be a real chaos in the background, as well as 2 cars go around on the start line. It's a nervous moment for Kai Allen, and there's 1 or 2 cars limping with damage, and the fight is on between the 888 teammates at the front.
Fraser up the inside into turn 2. Missouri's just come in super hot and just tagged the back of Cam Hill. So much going on at the start of this one.
Quite a lot to unpick here.
So focus on the second and third row. Everingham got going was slow. Actually, the contact was well back. James Masterton was involved as well. Tony Ordino, Paul Boschert, you see leaving to the left of screen, and Kai Allen's still there. So Everingham on the second row, outside second row, slow to get going. Kai Allen doesn't get going. Then you got to look right at the top of screen. Contact James Masterton with Tony Ordino. Gets across into Paul Boschert. Big damage to the right rear of that Commodore. This will show us from the rear of the grid.
Mastered and nailed both of them. One to the right, one to the left.
Up the inside of Matt Payne into turn 1, and then Missouri's just comes in too hot, gets the back of Cam Hill, and that's where Zach Best moves up another couple of spots to take second. But Missouri's pretty hot into 2. Just tags the back end. Doesn't take much in these slippery conditions. Cam Hill around he goes, turn 2.
Is that an apology?
That's the lane, and Jay Robotham grabs the rears, skates it into turn 6. Don't think he tried to go around the outside, he just ended up there, and McLean says, well, you're going to go around the outside, have a look at the grass. And now, Morse into McLean.
This is awesome stuff. Racing hard, racing each other as fair as possible, given the frantic nature of every single turn at the moment. As Crick goes across the front of Morse, and is he going to make contact with the fence? He just glances it. Flicks up some dirt and some mud, and hopefully he can get that car moving because it's in a difficult spot. Slowly running out of momentum. Every spot that Jay moves forward is a step closer to the podium today after winning yesterday's race. Oh, as Harris is off the road, he's going to struggle to pull this up. This could be chaos at turn 5.
And Morris
takes Morris with him. Big hit. Can they get those cars moving? Are we headed for another stoppage?
Looks like the radiator's done.
It's the international signal for what on earth just happened in the direction of Roll Harris.
Harris was trying to hang around the outside of 4 to get the run up the inside of 5, but got escorted into the grass, and he became a passenger. And Nash Morris, minding his own business, and he turned into turn 5. Heavy contact.
He's fighting with Matt McLean at that point. Wow. And amidst all that chaos, Kai Allen caught and passed Bradley Vaughan for the lead of Super 3. Even good luck, nowhere that happened. Whoever finishes higher in this race, and here's Nash just going up.
That's the international signal for what was that all about?
And he's trying to explain to me, I got pushed off. You want to start those games with Royal Harris.
On the grass, there was nothing that Royal could do. Nash obviously doesn't know that right now.
Not the first driver to go face-to-face with Royal Harris.
Who would have guessed that there's 2 sides to a story with contact in supercars? End result is, though, both Roll Harris and Nash Morris will take no further part in this one, regardless of who they think is at fault. Roll Harris is pointing out who he thinks may be involved. So...
and there is potentially the red flag.
Ellie Morrow, I'd say that's turn 6, down the bottom of the hill, out the back. She's well bunkered down there to start a lap if we restart this one. There's Morrow, just too deep on the brakes, runs it wide, understeers wide, and once you're in the sand, the beach has you.
Wow, this is a near miss. He handled this pretty good in the end, so there's the lock-up. And then off into the dirt. Now, 2 things here. If he'd found the fence or got stuck, it could have been enough to bring out a red flag, and he would be back to where he was with no banker lap time. Got away with it.
Matt McLean, too deep. He's locked in inside front. Does he keep it out of the sand? Yes, he does. But at 9 now, Seaton's around.
And he just about touches the fence outside the commentary box. There's going to be damage in the rear of that car, which would suggest that he had a little help to end up where he got to. As the fight continues around the back.
Oh, no!
Championship leader's gone!
That was a lap car. That was Stephen Payne.
What on earth?
Oh, Best just taps the wall.
Doesn't matter, the left rear's out of it as well. He's gone. He's out.
Let's see if you can get it back.
No way. Oh, got the curb camera, that one for you there, Garth.
Oh, yeah, you're right about the damage to Best's car. He's not going anywhere. So this will want to show us. Page actually does the right thing, gets out of the way. And then they just both looking for the same bit of tarmac on the exit of turn 5.
Jack Belly's engineer.
Oh, here we go. So that's the contact.
Ooh.
So
that was after the fact.
Hansen had that tyre rubbing, and then that contact was after and got to the barrier on the outside.
Oh, dear.
That's the left rear quarter panel.
Fucking what a rolling. Don't fucking yell right.
Apologies for any language that you may have picked up on that one.
Race up on Nash Morris. Oh. And that's Aaron Seaton on the outside.
You caught without me.
They are is blowing up on the radio the whole way through the field. Everyone's getting pretty hot under the collar.
Now that's Vaughan. That's a Super 3 Falcon up the inside of a Super 2 Falcon, and there's contact. Morris has gone around.
More Super 3 and Super 2 contact. Because it was awesome. Red lights are on. Payne versus Everingham on the front row. And the distance lighted up. Great start for Everingham. Is it enough? Oh, big one in the background. Nash Morris was looking skyward. Contact with Brad Vaughan. That was like an open wheeler accident.
I have never seen a supercar launch like that in the air.
Camera guys on the spot as always.
Oh, so Nash has got a great start. He's trying to go up the the middle of Vaughan and Ryle Harris.
That's amazing.
And just launched it.
That was a drag racing wheel stand. He's going to have to put a wheelie bar on the back of that thing for the next race.
Well, he needs a wheelie bar because he got a great launch. And you just saw there him get squeezed, and just the contact popped him up in the air.
So it's the fact that he got both wheels at the same time meant that he couldn't go on two wheels. Well, he did on the rears.
That's right. So this one will show us as well. Wow. Oh. Yesterday's race is anything to go by. We've still got lots of action, and here we go. That's Stephen Page. He's got himself buried. That's turn one, and that's not getting out under its own steam. Well, this is actually turn 7, up the inside of Tony Ordino. Takes too much curb. No, he gets that one done, and then we get to turn 1. So that's been an eventful couple of corners.
Here we go. Chris Murden on the inside. They were having a fair old scrap. Nearly got himself out. The crowd were cheering him on to try and get back to the black stuff.
Just a little bit too deep. No contact from Smurden. Page locks that inside front tyre, runs him on into the grass, into the sand trap, and it's turn 7. Chris Smurden up the inside of Tony Ordino. I feel like we've seen this movie before.
Oops. Be a bit of work to do to clean out the front end of that Ford Falcon. And no, they just fixed it.
Chad's put the mockers on the AU Falcon.
They spent all night fixing that. No, he's done it on the outlap. Oh, come on. No. And he was absolutely on the limit down there at turn 3. Oh boy, that's going to get the wall just.
That's over the limit, Chad. That's a little. It's okay to tag the wall there, but that's a little bit too much. So need to be careful. You don't change some of the steering geometry. You can see there actually gets it with the front corner. So
zone at 2, but couldn't find the door to open to get back to the inside. And that's Angelo Mazuris, and he's made contact with the wall on the entry and through the middle of turn 5. Yeah, there we go. Hard into the tyre. Mazuris.
Contact there. Yeah. I wonder whether that's contributed to what's taken place when we get to turn 5. Because watching the background here, Mazuris, that blue Nissan Ultimate, just does not respond to steering. But yes, it's got broken steering arm. I saw the wheel, the left front steering basically not working, and Gary Hills followed into the scene of the crime there. I wonder whether there was an issue with that car, because he's when he likes before the control line, and he's gone early, gone real early, and Zach Best is awake to it.
Oh,
he's nailed him.
Oh, I thought he was gone.
So did I.
That's one way of making sure the leader doesn't get away on a restart. Seaton was having a bit of a lock-up in the foreground, and they're all pushing and shoving, and Blanchard getting absolutely belted down here by Jay Hansen. Morse around the outside. No way.
3 wide.
That's move of the year, Zane Morse.
Does it get it? Can he turn it into turn 3, turn 4? We're still 2 wide. We're 3 wide.
That's incredible.
How did they get out of there?
He has to fight through turn 4 to get the inside of 5. Blanchard hangs tough.
Oh, good racing. Hard racing. Oh, sideways. Now Payne has to be smart here. He's the championship leader. Don't get involved in anything.
Oh boy, this has the potential to go full Super 2 in a minute. You can feel it bubbling. It's just sitting there.
Oh, more slides and across Boundary Street. The Super 3 cars are getting involved now. Jay Hansen up the inside of Matt Payne, locks the rears.
Got him.
That's a block pass, motocross style. Gets it done at 10.
Allen gives Vaughan a tap. The fight. And Fraser gets a brilliant jump from the pole. He leaves Best. He's winning. Everingham's around. Takes the championship leader with him. First and second in the points are buried in the fence together.
Everingham got a rocket start and was making his way through the front row.
And he had nothing to do with this, nowhere to go.
So watch Everingham in the 27 car, makes a great launch, tries to go through a hole.
It was actually Zach Best that tagged him. Best didn't get a great start, and Matt Payne, absolute innocent bystander, gets collected by the spinning Everingham. So Zach Best doesn't get away well. Everingham does, and they converge on the same bit of real estate.
Oh, Cam Hill. How did he get out of that one, Gar?
Oh, even at the back of the field, just making their way by.
Watch for car 111. Jagged it left. Lucky to only have 2 cars involved in that one.
So Matt Payne, our championship leader, on board with him in this one, and just watch Tyler Everingham. So Best did not get a good launch. Payne got a good one in start himself, but nothing he could do about that one. Tyler Everingham comes across the front. Both cars, heavy damage.
So the field pulled up behind the safety car from Matt Charter's point of view. Seas parted.
Thank you very much.
Cam, oh, this is the one. Watch this. How's the reflexes? Oh, good driving, Cameron. Allen and Vaughan, all of a sudden the fight's on in Super 3. Where did that come from? Oh, and a car off in the background and smoke pouring from it up at the entrance to turn 6.
Oh, big contact. Cameron Crick and Nash Morris.
The left side of that Crick car was damaged, and now it's finished.
Doing all his own thing. Let's try and catch a replay of what happened here. Oh, well, they were already both having a moment at that point. So big damage to the side of Cameron Crick's car. Nash Morris is parked in the passenger door.
Oh, that's not the way to go for the Danaher Falcon, and that's dramas.
That's, I think, on the front
Oh,
end.
Vaughan's gone. And he was fighting for the win in Super 3.
Here we go, turn 2.
Backing it on in, Ray Hislop. He had a couple of offs here yesterday.
I like that one, though. That's got a better artistic approach, coming in backwards. Well, Blake Fardell touring the outfield at turn 1, and that's just a graphic example of how wet it is once you leave the race circuit. A heavy amount of rain overnight. Lots of rain in Melbourne this week in the lead up to the event. Supercars have got plenty of grip in the dry on tarmac. They're not great on the grass in the wet. The energy that goes through the front bumper, the front splitter as they leave the circuit and bounce through the mud. He's on board with Zane Mawson. Watch the front bang down there. The thing that got my attention, that external shot of Zane Mawson, was just how much water was underneath the car and coming from the car. And Ellie, just too much curb actually on a cold tyre. And then I think we may have ended up
Victorian, and this was the re-entry.
Oh, no. That's rookie error. Don't dive down the hill into the mud. Stay on the racetrack. So that'll be a good learning experience for Ellie. When it's like this, stay on the racetrack, spin turn, stay up on the high ground. Blake Fardell making his way down into Dandenong Road and just locked it inside front very late in the braking zone, ran the car wide. Blake was actually fastest at that point and was on a pretty reasonable lap. And he wasn't wrong. Oh, there's Ange Missouri's copy and paste what we saw from Thomas Maxwell previously.
Yeah, and he is languishing in 33rd at the moment with Jay Robotham, who's had a similar issue. And they're into desperation mode now. Jay went properly off down there. So they've got some work to do. 2 minutes to go in this session.
Just wondering whether it's very still out there at the moment, Chad, with wind, and a bit of a headwind up the front. Oh, this is big, Chad. This is big. He needs to get out of there and hope that a red flag doesn't come. Let's see what happens. Outside front tyre lock. Oh. And then off at speed, which is, you've got to keep your momentum up.
It's a real heart-stopping moment, and thankfully we don't see a repeat of what happened at the supercars at the bend. Zach Best runs it wide and he is dropping back through the pack. Trouble in the background. Fardell, Policini facing the wrong way at turn 1.
Navigated the first sector at that start lap. Kept their nose clean. Oh, that's Cam Hill. Championship, second place championship contender, backwards at the exit of turn 4.
Contact between Declan Fraser as well, because you can see the back of Hanson's car has been pushed in.
So that was Hanson having a lock-up. We caught the tail end of that. And then as the field bunched up, Aaron Seaton nowhere to go. Had to pull out of the queue, effectively change lanes, and that didn't work. So Policina again has got into the back of James Masterton at turn 1. So all of the cars, everyone having drama with brake at the moment, whether it's front tyre temperature, because definitely the sun has gone here, Chad. The little bit of sun that we had has gone. There's Jay Hanson speedwaying it out at the exit of Dandenong Road. Oh, he was having a huge moment coming down the hill. And then when the car changed direction and unloaded that inside front tyre, massive final complex. Oh, Matt Payne has got him.
Drills the side of Charter.
It's not over with yet. So Charter tries to get going. Jack Perkins is in it wide now. Charter trying to gas it up and get going.
Oh, they do a good job to miss him.
So that all started right back at Dandenong Road. Matt Charter.
Hills has made another 2 corners around.
Got to turn 4.
He's having a hard time, the poor guy. Can he keep it moving?
Oh, he didn't get a gear either. He struggled to get it back to second. And then, well, probably really shouldn't have sent it at the entry to turn 4. That all went back to the entry to turn 2. You could hear him trying to get second gear. Finally sort that argument out. Talking about arguments, we've got another one down here at turn 1. Stephen Page has gone around in the Page Brothers RV Commodore. Spins himself around. Rejoins the journey. Oh, a bit going on here.
Oh, it's going from bad to worse for Thomas Maxwell. And he's
turned the championship leader
around.
Oh, that had a sniff of something happening. The other 888 Race Engineering Commodore Cam Hill was on the inside. Look at Zane Morse. So this has all happened somewhere on the restart because I saw big damage to the front of Kai Allen's car. There's massive damage to the front of Zane Morse's, and Ray Hislop we saw in the background. So here we go, bang! That's turn 11.
Ouch. Yeah.
So they've all stopped into 11, and not everyone got the memo. Here they go, they all stopped. Cam Hill was in there, he was one of them as well.
Gee. What we're saying, they might not even get back to the start line in that order.
You called it, and there's Kai Allen to the right of screen. Off he goes. Whilst live to the left of screen, Dean Fiore's got his head down, trying to minimise the time, or the pain from that 5-second time penalty carries over from the start of this one. Oh, Fiore's pretty deep in there. Did he get stopped?
How will this one finish up? Who knows where to look?
Double yellows in the background. Oh, Fiore, the leader's off. They're all off. There's mud everywhere.
Charter's around.
Oh, my goodness.
Big one in the background. There's more to it.
They're all in. Look at the mud. There's our championship leader, finds his way through.
Be careful.
Crazy moment on the last lap. And the lid well and truly popped off this one since the restart.
Wow.
That was big.
That is incredible.
Collected in that one.
Oh, so this is where put all the mud everywhere. It was Jason Gomersthal had a massive moment up at turns 2 and 3, and then when the field came around, Fiore got caught out, a lot of them got caught out, Charter went around, you'll see a big one in the background, Maxwell, Mazuris, and then there's mud everywhere. It is an ice rink.
Wouldn't surprise me at all if they were able to jag another Bathurst winner. Now this doesn't look too good. Where on earth is he going, Andy Jones?
Out of here?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with. Yeah, but that's not the normal place to see a car parking, so you have to admit, you'd have to suggest some sort of an issue there on the outlet. Let's have a look and see what we can pick up, Chad.
No, don't scratch the new livery. They've just put it back in the Vodafone colours, and it's going in on the right-hand side on the warm-up lap.
So I would say that's the case.
It's Brendan Strong, and that car has buried itself deep, and there's another one off as well.
Masterton.
Yep, so 2 totally separate incidents at the same time. Get the feeling we are headed for stoppage to this session.
James's incident at Murray's pretty straightforward. Lock that left front. As soon as you lock the left front, the car won't turn. Car goes straight ahead into the sand trap. Now this is the one for Strong. So that is really late, really fast, and huge contact into that tyre barrier. Not as bad as it could have been. Not as bad as we thought it might have been.
And they would have been full of water too. Now it's at the chase. Coming in hot, nearly, not quite there. And typically at this venue, you'd be able to put your boot into it, Andy. We've seen plenty of drivers get out of this situation before. But it is just so thick out there at the top of the hill. And continuing his push lap at the other end of the racetrack.
And that's a separate incident, so that's 3 times now within the space of a lap for Stephen. This is, well, look at the rear of the car there too, Chad.
I don't know if the wheels went up or what, so it's like a bag of loose.
Oh, it's the exit.
Here.
That new concrete wall which had been placed there in recent years. which stopped cars having a similar issue to what happened to Paul Radicic a few years ago.
On the exit at the chase.
You know how fast Kiwi drivers are in these kind of conditions, and Hill's almost in the fence, and behind him, who's that? Someone definitely in the fence. Don't tell me that's the championship leader buried in there. And the good news is Andrew's okay. So that's the first box to tick.
The tricky thing is when you're buried like that under the conveyor belt stuff there, you can see the strapping just gets caught on everything, and a lot of the damage happens like that on the way out. A lot of toe out on that left rear there, Chad. So coming down through the S's here, just getting wide. Is that a loose wheel nut on the left rear there with that swarf that's come out? And we saw something very similar when Kai Allen's right front wheel nut came undone. So I wonder there, can't really see from that shot, Chad, whether or not the nut...
They're not getting there yet. Whoa, Reece McCarthy. We saw him going slow earlier at the chase, and there could be a reason for that because he high-fived the ball pretty hard across the middle grate.
So unlike the Matt McLean incident that we saw a couple of laps ago, which was just a, what I'm going to call a light graze, this one is a decent old whack, and particularly on that right rear tyre and wheel. Look at the state of it. It's bent the rim. It's done damage to the right rear suspension.
We're talking about the Gomersall car.
13.
What is it with turn 13, man? That was as wild as we've seen. He does everywhere. Oh, that was really wide for Crick, and now Seaton goes around him. Can Crick fight back? This is brewing,
no.
and it ends with Seaton hard into the fence, and that car catapulting upwards and hard back down onto the ground.
Caution turn 6, car stationary.
Still on the racing line too, in a blind corner.
Left.
Started with Crick running wide. Really, this started half a lap ago.
Yeah.
It was brewing.
Yeah, it'd been brewing for a while, and they'd only been giving each other just the barest amount of room, racing room. Crick was wide, and then they ended up too wide in an awkward spot. Contact was made, and just the way that car jumped up in the air, it was massive. You can actually see in the background our Super 3 competitors were caught up in that one, and Brad Bale out of this one shortly.
2 for 1 here for Robotham, and more action down at the last corner. McLaughlin's got his head in his hands because it's his old race car that's been speared, and it's on here with Robotham. Watch for Hansen. This is building as well. Missouri's in there. Charter cops it. They're on the oil.
They're all on the oil.
They're banging doors. Giddy up. Super 2 action on the streets of Adelaide. This is awesome stuff.
Not done yet, Chad. They're still looking to get off the slippery stuff. Robotham's wide. Oh, then someone's around. Cameron Crick's around now.
He's in safety.
Let's see what's going on at 7. Charter's backwards. Everingham was there.
Dare I say it, it's gone full Super 2.
Oh, have a go at Ange Mazur's Nissan Altima. Be careful here.
Still brawling under the gum tree. As that 3 wide at turn 9.
He's got a tyre down as Hansen. He's out of this one.
And safety car.
I reckon they've just thrown the safety car. There's too much chaos.
This will be fun to sort out. So
this is where it started early. Gomersall lost the rear, got into Zane Morse.
Okay, that's fixable.
We'll have to get the paintbrush out to fix up the signage on this one. And
this
then
one, though.
here, turn 6. We saw earlier that you don't need to be too wide through there. Keep your eyes to the back of the screen. And it was Ryle Harris actually that got into Cameron Crick. That put big damage on Cameron Crick's car. Now we're on board with Matt Charter here. Oh, he got helped into the back of Jay Hansen. You could see him lose the rear. So, and he'll arrive backwards. I think Maxwell was the car right behind. Mazurus has already had the big damage when he appeared. I'd readdress that. Kai Allen!
No, it's Kai Allen!
That's big, he's out.
Incredible!
Caution turn 9.
He's been so much quicker than everybody in Super 3 all year, and he might leave with nothing to show for it.
So, look up to the top of the screen, and he's just wide by himself. Brad Ford right behind him, so potentially a bit of implied pressure in the rear vision mirror of Kai Allen's number 26 Eggleston Motorsport Commodore, and you can see him arrive into shot there with a heavily damaged Boost Mobile Commodore, and that will be over and out for season 2022 for Kai Allen.
He's barely put a foot wrong, and what a time to let your guard down for Kai Allen.
Car in front's not effectively the car in front, but Declan Fraser's teammate Cameron Hill, another one, heavy contact with the turn 8 wall, big damage.
Looks pretty bad.
Where's he going to park this one?
And
And that'll be up the escape road at 9 with heavy contact. Cameron Hill won't be able to move that one.
Carrera Cup. So if anyone knows what it's like to be in Cam Hill's shoes right now, oh man, that went in hard. No wonder he's telling him to take a deep breath.
Yeah, that was an awkward angle.
His first DNF of the season, his first DNF in the Dunlop Series, and his last Super 2 run.
Now Aaron Seaton's buying into this one, big! Seaton around.
We'll get that moving, we'll stay green, last lap.
Not too much damage to Seaton's if at all.
Chart up.
A little bit of